Coffee and Headlines is brought to you by the generous support of our viewers and the following community partners: Best Cord Cutting TV, Bravos Restaurant Bar, El Rey Lounge de Versalles, Joint Boutique Hotel and Cowork, Puerto Vallarta Neurofeedback, Puerto Vallarta Owners Reps, Oculto, and Siam Cocina Thai. Thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting our community partners. Well, good morning, everyone. And oh my God, I look so weird in black. I'm wearing a special shirt and I have a story behind it. I'm also scattered and all over the place. I was not able to go to sleep till 3:30 in the morning last night. And that's how long it took me to come down from my high after attending the opening night of Hedwig and the Angry Inch at the Palm. I am so excited to unpack that later on in the broadcast and tell you what I thought about the production and what I suggest you do if you plan to see the production and how to best enjoy it. I do have a small request. I can either tell you about Hedwig and cut to the chase, or I can really do a deep dive and tell you how I experienced it as a highly sensitive person. As you know, or well, some of you know, I am a highly sensitive person. I was um, grateful to come across the research by the amazing Dr. Elaine Aaron on the trait of being highly sensitive, and and I've become very mindful of how I experience the world around me ever since I made this connection. So, if you want the Hedwig experience, cut to the chase, just write cut to the chase in your comment. If you want the highly sensitive person experience of Hedwig and the Angry Inch, just write HSP or highly sensitive or something, and I will take a cue from you as to how much time you want to spend there. Because I could go on for a while. There's so much to unpack. It's not even funny. But as always, I'm getting ahead of myself. This is Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together live here on Facebook, where we take a look at what's going on in Puerto Vallarta, news, anecdotes, stories, all kinds of things. And yesterday was one day full of really interesting stories. So I have a lot of things to unpack. News are kind of cute, but that's okay. So again, as always, if you, oh dear. Okay, I'm starting to read your comments. I get it. Thank you. Okay, fair, fair, fair. It's going to be a highly sensitive recount, not review. Somebody asked me last night, well, I didn't read your review on something else. And I thought, well, I don't do reviews. I just tell about my experience. So, anyhow, as always, a capital letter Q if you have an important question, a capital letter N as in nice. If you're watching live for the first time and you would like a nice little welcome. So let us just get a couple of news items out of the way. Yesterday, we talked about the fact that there's a new pier coming to Puerto Vallarta. This will be constructed in Colonia Cinco de Diciembre, where Chile Street meets the ocean. And I came across a couple of higher resolution artist renderings of the project. These are very early, but I thought you would get a kick out of seeing what, at least at this point, our new pier in the city could look like. This pier was announced a couple of days ago, and it is designed to bring even more connectivity from Puerto Vallarta to points north and south of the city that are some accessible only by boat, but others are, it may be just more practical to get to. I mean, try driving to the north end of the bay lately and you'll see what I mean. So We'll see what happens with this construction project. It's supposed to start in the month of February, so we'll take it from there. This is important. I've been keeping this bit of news in my burner for some days, couple of days. Starting this Thursday, the state of Jalisco will begin sanctioning vehicles with license plates that have holders or any type of modification that impedes the plate's visibility. There will be fines involved. So if your car or truck or vehicle has a license plate cover, or you are in one way or another, impeding authorities from seeing the information in your license plate, rather than asking why, I have no idea why, but I wonder too. But rather than asking why, simply go find yourselves a screwdriver and just get rid of that license plate to avoid the possibility of getting a fine. And I have some disappointing news to share. Mexicana, the airline, has announced the suspension of 8 of its domestic routes, including one connecting Puerto Vallarta with Mexico City. Other routes suspended, include the cities of Guadalajara, Campeche, Ixtapa, Villahermosa, and a couple others. Just to be on the safe side, if you have any Mexicana reservations for the near future or ticket purchases for upcoming flights, I would get in touch with the airline just to make sure that your flight is okay, just in case. Let's take a look at the weather. Right now, I put it on my screen. Winter is here. My God, Sean Bean was right. He was right all along. I have no idea who Sean Bean is. But maybe one of you will fill in the blank for me. 22 degrees out there right now. Humidity is low at 63%. Our weather forecast says it's going to be a humid day with mostly cloudy skies throughout the day, with a high of 27 and a low of 16. Tomorrow, Tuesday, mostly cloudy skies throughout the day, a high of 26 and a low of 17. And then Wednesday, a humid day with overcast skies, a high of 24 and a low of 17. It actually says chance of precipitation 23%. We are now in that part of the month in which Cabañuelas happen. And Cabañuelas, just in case you don't know, is an ancient farming weather prediction method that indicates that if there's rain on a certain day in January, you can expect there to be rain later on in the month. We can deep dive into the Cabañuelas at some point, but that's usually what goes on during this time of the first month of the new year. Now, I found something on Facebook that is completely useless until you actually need it. I have a fascination with Acapulco chairs just because of their design. They're not particularly comfortable in my experience, but they're fun to watch. And it's amusing to me that sometimes you are going about your business in the city, and sometimes you will see this ginormous pickup truck with tons of these chairs in the back going from one place to another. And you're probably wondering, where the fuck can I get one of these? Well, that's a story for another day. But I was happy to discover yesterday that there is a place where you can have them restrung if you happen to own one. Or maybe you went to a bazaar where you found the structure of one. They're made of wrought iron, which is really heavy and unpleasant. And when they break down or they lose their stringing, a lot of people simply discard them because it's not like there are many stores out there that repair these things for you. But I found, by chance, a listing on Facebook. So I'm going to share it. Should you happen to have one of these chairs lying around and have been looking for a solution or a makeover. And speaking of solutions and makeovers, I finally went ahead. I've been talking about the spotlight, which is going to happen in a couple of days, but I finally went ahead and created the event, the watch page, so that if you want to watch the spotlight this Wednesday, you can do so as usual, or better yet, you can join us live at the Joint Boutique Hotel and watch live. That is always a lot of fun. It's a great way to connect. And and I'm excited because, for example, on the 22nd, Pamela and and a friend are going to be showing their homemade jellies and other treats. And when I talked to Pamela about this, I said to her, well, why don't you girls bring some things that people can buy while you're there? And they got all excited. So we may have like a little mini farmers market in our hands. And I'm excited about that. As you know, the spotlight is our free for all opportunity to toot your own horn. And by the way, there are two spots available for the last spotlight on the month of February. And the sign up dates for the month of March are already live. So if you wish to reserve a spot on the spotlight, all you have to do is sign up. And it's as easy as that. And now, of course, I want to tell you about my experience with Hedwig. But first, I would like to share a little bit of a personal love story. Last night, we decided to have dinner at Tacos Revolucion because it's conveniently located. It's kitty corner from the Palm, and the tacos are absolutely wonderful. Now, I have a relationship with Tacos Revolucion for several reasons. For starters, their tacos are top notch. They are absolutely wonderful. And secondly, Arturo Guerrero is the brother-in-law of the owners, and he watches Coffee and Headlines from Canada. So I'm familiar with him. I'm familiar with the family. Long story short, we find ourselves having dinner last night, and won't you know it, Judith, the wife of one of the co-owners, comes to our table and starts talking to me, recognizes me. Aren't you that guy? So of course I happen to be that guy, and we talked. And I was wearing one of my crochet chingaderas because we were going to the Palm. The Palm is usually freezing. Um, and it was chilly last night. So she started saying nice things about my schmata that I was wearing, and whenever I connect with people and they're friendly, I always say, "Do you like it? Do you want it?" And of course, here's her reaction first was like, "Of course, I don't want it. I don't want it," but I kind of knew she did. Long story short, I gifted her my little schmata that I was wearing, and this is us. Um, Posing for a photo. And it was really sweet because as we're talking about this, that, and the other, I remembered, well, wait a second. Tacos Revolucion has the most amazing t shirt designs. So I changed my tune a little bit and I said, well, what about a trade? I'll give you my shawl if you gift me one of your t shirts. And it so happens that they had just premiered these brand new Vitruvian Man with a Emiliano Zapata theme T-shirt, and this is precisely what I am wearing this morning. And here is my Vitruvian Man, and I we just got such a great kick out of that. So please know, even before we get into Hedwig, please know that Tacos Revolucion is amazing. The owners are amazing. I love stories like that, and we just had a great exchange last night. And then it was time to go see Hedwig. Yes, I did call it a schmata, Daniel. Daniel was producing the live stream for the Golden Globes last night, and I am a little bummed out that I missed it, but I'm sure I will find it somewhere so that I can watch it, even if it's after the fact. Anyhow, um, let's see. How do I break this? There's so much to unpack about Hedwig. I will start by saying this. Once you sit down, once you sit down and the show starts, it'll take you less than 20 seconds to realize that you're in for a treat. The show, which some of you may know what it is about. If you don't, let me give you Juanita's notes, not Cliff Notes, but Juanita's notes. Please know that it tells the story of internationally ignored song stylist Hedwig Schmidt, who is a fourth wall smashing East German rock and roll goddess who also happens to be the victim of a botched sex change operation, which has left her with just an angry inch. So this is not like going to watch My Fair Lady. It's the subject matter demands attention, and the local production certainly commands it. Um, it is cast by two actors, um, Jordan Carnegie and Yoli Guerrero, who play spouses. Yoali is a young, amazing, very talented singer. She plays a man. And in the band, they have a four-piece band right behind them. And again, the moment you uh, sit down, you hear a tight band, you hear cohesive connections between all the players. And all of a sudden, I thought to myself, well, could be, this sounds like a touring company that has been touring for years, not a band that was just quickly put together. Well, not by saying quickly put together, I don't mean to diminish the work, but they were so together in their delivery. It was amazing. Um, I will say that, uh, what else can I tell you? What else? Oh, yeah, yeah, yes, yes. I'm trying to focus on the good stuff first. More on the band. The band was not only really tight musically, but they were very engaged with the production. It was amazing to see how there is actual interaction between the performers and the band as part of the way the musical develops. But they were present. I mean, sometimes you go and hear bands in town where the players just don't seem to be there, connected, engaged. That was not the case with this band. The band was very, very much engaged. The production was very specific from the very beginning, with a no camcorders, I mean, no cell phones, no video, no photos, no nothing, which I really appreciated because it was a very much in your face reminder from the production that you're there to be present with the production, not to be checking your messages, not to be chit chatting, um, which it is unfortunate that our behavior in the theater sometimes, you know, I don't know what to say. All I know is that I'm grateful that the character Hedwig is such that Jordan had no problem at some point stepping into the character's shoes and yelling, "Shut the fuck up," to some people that were sitting in the back. Um, and that could have been staged. I don't know. But I'm just so very happy for Jordan to have a character that entitled him to take care of that business with these audience members that were chatting. Um, there was also going into the palm is always an interesting maneuver. For all I know, the producers uh, made it a hellhole, to try to getting into the palm last night was kind of like, have you seen those videos in YouTube? And I know I'm rambling now, but you asked for like the very detailed, highly sensitive edition. Have you seen those videos in YouTube where you have like these chicken farms and there's this robot arm that tries to, suck in the chicken so that they can go through a machine and maybe get plucked or whatever? That's what it's like getting into the palm, you know? It's crazy. It's a mob scene. And I've come to expect mobs like that in places like, the subway in Guadalajara during rush hour. Or I have come to expect mobs like that at the Saturday market in the Libramiento, where they set up these giant tables and they just dump clothes on top of these tables. The clothes are unlabeled. You can buy three garments for 20 pesos or whatever, and you get all these people that mob the tables and they're trying to get whatever they can. So I've come to expect mob mentality, but certainly not at a venue that mostly caters to our first world country neighbors up north, the two of them. And the way people were behaving, it was just fascinating. And what's fascinating to me is that the management of the Palm does very little to work with the mob. And what a missed opportunity that is, because have you ever seen those videos of flight attendants that really make it fun to follow guidelines? The fasten your seatbelt and all that chingadera. There's a missed opportunity there for the Palm. I felt like I was crossing the border into some mysterious country, getting into the Palm. Or maybe, just maybe, the production of HEDWIG wanted to add to the authenticity of the experience by making it a pain in the ass to get into the venue, like it could have been a pain in the ass to get into an East German rock venue when the story originally took place. I don't know. But this is not about the production of HEDWIG. This is about the venue. The production of HEDWIG was just amazing. Let me go back to the band. There were two moments that were absolutely uh, endearing. Thank you, Brian, for calling me shady. I'm calling it out like it is, and I'm calling it out like it was my experience, you know. And I'm going to continue to do that because this is my show. So there. Um, there were two incidents about the band that just touched me as a musician and as a live venue concert goer. At some point, I don't know if it was lack of practice or maybe they had a replacement with the bass player, but the bass player and the drummer kept exchanging eyes. Um, about when to enter, when to do a downbeat, when to play a note. And I just love watching nonverbal communication that happens among musicians during a live music performance. It is just magical to see how much communication can happen between two performers in the middle of a show. And then there was the guitar incident. At some point, the guitar player in the band left the stage, and I didn't even notice that. I noticed him coming back, and this happened halfway through the show. And I first thought to myself, well, we all need to go pee at some point. But no, he came back carrying a nylon string guitar. Clearly, he must have broken a string in the middle of the show. And quite nonchalantly and keeping his cool and very professionally, he went off stage, found another string guitar, and strung his guitar while the show was going on, never missing a beat. And that was fascinating to me. Something else that was truly fascinating for me is the intense microphone choreography because of the way the characters move about the stage and whatever logistics they have with the sound system at the venue. Sometimes they were singing with wireless microphones, and sometimes they were switching to wired microphones. And I thought to myself, it really takes being focused to get that down. And you had to be really paying attention for this. It was just absolutely wonderful. Now, let me tell you something else that was really amazing to me. I could not understand the lyrics, and I am partly to blame. You know, we have a band here, we have a production here. Yoali Guerrero, the co star, oh my God, she delivers. And the very strange dynamic between both spouses, between Joali's character and Jordan's character, is a bit disturbing. He really seems to treat her or him like shit, or unappreciative through the whole show. But yet, at the end, we can clearly see the connection between the two. Now, I missed a lot of details because, quite frankly, I didn't meet the production. You know, it's amazing how we sometimes go out there to be entertained. And we go out there with that mentality. It's like we just paid money to be entertained. So bitches entertain us. But that's not the way art works, at least not in my book. When a production goes beyond halfway there, with their responsibility to entertain us, we owe it to them to do our end of the deal and meet them halfway. We meet them halfway by showing up, by not talking in the middle of the show, by being respectful. And I don't even know what to tell you about the guy that was vaping not far away from me. Um, I suppose I get vapors. You know, if my blood pressure medication was only available to me with a vape, I would be a selfish person as well, and I would be puffing with a vapor wherever I went. But I don't want to get distracted with that. Um, where was I going? Give me a moment. Oh, yes. Basic Paco advice for opera goers: before you go to the opera, find out more about the opera. I come from a place where I don't know much about Hedwig. I saw the movie some time ago. I interviewed the leads not too long ago, but I did not take the time to play the music from the original cast or consult the lyrics. I would have enjoyed the show so much more if I had done myself that favor to do some research ahead of time. I am sure that die-hard Hedwig lovers enjoyed the production as it is. I found myself, oh shit, this is going to go on it's going to go on for over an hour, and I am getting some of the audio, I'm getting some of the words, but not all of them. So I changed my mindset and I thought to myself, if I was watching a French production, if this was a French opera, or if this was the Bulgarian women's chorus that I'm watching live, it would be up to the music, not the words. It would be up to the music to move me, because music has that intrinsic quality. And you know what? It did. Even when I was only getting the broad brushstrokes of the song lyrics and this, that, and the others, I was still moved to tears at the end of Hedwig and the Angry Inch. That is the power of music. And that is the power of an engaged, prepared ensemble. And that's what I mean by meeting the production halfway there. If a production goes out of their way to entertain, we owe the production at least that much, regardless of how much we paid for the tickets, regardless of how professional the production is. Every production deserves at least that much. So, would I go back and see it? Absolutely. Let me give you some tips on how to best enjoy yourselves if you go see Hedwig. First of all, Google the lyrics. Google the lyrics. I am sure that I missed a lot of morsels by not having at least read through the lyrics. It's like going to the opera. Google the lyrics. Number two, give the production the attention span and the subject matter the attention span that it deserves. Again, this is not a light and fluffy musical. This is a heavy story. Funny, tragic, but it demands the respect. Number two. Number three, oh, good Lord, the palm. There are no bad seats, I think, in my opinion. Look, there are no bad seats at the palm. So if you have to engage in this exercise of, trying to tightly enter a little door among other people, and you get into that kind of behavior, power to you. Otherwise, know that the venue is small, it's comfortable. I don't think there's a bad seat, so you don't need to engage in that. Do bring a shawl. It's fucking cold in there. It's very cold inside the palm. I was grateful that somebody approached our part of the venue, um, and and asked us, "Are you cold?" And we said, "Yes, turn it off." So they turned off the air conditioning. So it was absolutely wonderful. It was wonderful that they paid attention to that. But oof, other than that, I applaud this production because this production is not a show. It is more than just a show. It really is big. It opens the conversation to what kind of performances are possible in Puerto Vallarta, and what kind of venues are required to house them, and what kind of viewer etiquette we can and should put into place when we go out and expect to be entertained. You know, what are we doing? We expect Ubers, to get us from point A to point B, but we don't, fart inside of the Uber, or we try not to anyway. So do yourselves a favor, go watch this production. I am sure that that's something else I wanted to tell you. After the show was over, I found it interesting to find that some of my native English speaking friends also had problems at times understanding words and lyrics. But the good news is that that is a problem that is solved easily by any production willing to address it. Let me tell you, having studied music, oh God, there goes the finger. Having studied music production and engineering in college, that was my major. It is an art and a little bit of witchcraft to get sound right in a venue that is not acoustically treated. And the palm may look pretty, but it ain't a venue that was acoustically treated in any way. That said, a skilled sound engineer and some good intention on behalf of the production can go a long way in improving that. And I'm sure that that is something that will be looked into. Again, if I had been a diehard fan, I'm sure I would not have so much of a problem. If I had read the lyrics ahead of time, I'm sure I would not have had that much of a problem. But go. Oh my God, this sets the standard for other productions. And I feel like I'm starting to repeat myself. Thank you, Jordon. Thank you, cast. You guys were amazing. And I'm going to go read those lyrics and I'm going to go pay attention to the songs because I'm looking forward to having an even better experience watching the show. And I want to be provoked by it even further. But now I have homework to do. And that's it for me. What's on your mind? Let me know in your comments. Oh, no, that's the weather. No, we don't want the weather. We already have the weather. Paco, focus. So do let me know if other people write about, because I saw you go to these things and you run into people you want to talk to, and then you run into people you run into people that are not for you. That's all I'm going to say. So if you read anything else about this, I just hope it was profound. Those people that write experiences about theater and dance and shows, make it worth the while. If you write, well, actually, no, scratch. I'm not even going to go there. This is about what I experience, and I hope it's useful to you, and I hope it's inspiring to you. Enough. Let me come back to your comments. And this is what life is like, appreciating everything in detail. That's why I was talking about being a highly sensitive person. I came home and I couldn't come down from my highly sensitive person cloud, so I'm probably going to take a long siesta today. Enough. Lots of good mornings. Thank you so very much. Ba-da-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba. Well, Betsy, I expected you to write that because you come to my music appreciation things and you know how I get when it comes to being Oh my God, Betsy, you have to go see this. You really, really, really have to go see this. Uh, Hedwig cut to the chase, followed by HSP. Well, I guess I didn't read that in time. I just rambled, and it's. Oh, and something else I'll say about the mob mentality. I mean, what the fuck, people from north of the border? We don't behave like that at shows in Guadalajara. We don't behave like that and I go to respectable shows in Guadalajara, and I also go to really shitty venues sometimes, and people just don't get crazy like that. What the fuck? Where's the parrot? No, not now. Not now. Let's see. Where can I reload my bus card? Says Jonathan White. There are several OXXOs that do this for us. I suspect that when the new bus terminals and new electrical buses and unified system comes to Puerto Vallarta, this will change. But for now, there are at least two OXXOs that I've identified that allow you to recharge the bus cards. They're both near my neighborhood. I'm sure there are others in other places. One is the one that is like right across the street from Los Muertos Brewing in Francisco Villa, on Francisco Villa. The other one is on Francisco Medina Asensio near Plaza Las Glorias. And I hope you're able to charge your bus card. Will the Malecón extend to the new pier? I suppose you're referring to the new pier. Um, I would think it will. I would think they will make that connection. That makes sense. But again, the initial sketches, the initial artist renderings were just delivered. So we'll have to see how that design is modified with time. Thank you for sharing the info about the new pier. It looks pretty. And oh my God, it will do so much for Cinco de Diciembre. So if you have a good rental place in Cinco de Diciembre, be nice to your landlord and be hold on to your rent, because I am sure that if you get a new pier in Cinco de Diciembre, rents will go up the roof there as well. Ta-da-ta-ta. Oh, yeah. See, and thank you very much for that, David. I remember reading that the actor had passed away. Thank you very much for that. Michal says, I hope it rains. I do too. Oh my God, and today is Dia de los Reyes. I hope you didn't get a little baby, plastic baby Jesus, Logan. Barbara says, had dinner at Pizza Joe's. In my opinion, the restaurant has great potential. Right? I enjoyed it so very much. And Betsy asks for unpacking cabañuelas. Let me go look at my notes. I know that we've talked about this before, and I will speak about cabañuelas in detail before they're over. Regarding license plates, I read an article from Informador that if the QR code on your plate is hidden by a license plate holder, you could be ticketed 16,285 pesos. Yes, there will be fines. I don't know the amount specifically, but again, just remove the license plate cover and you'll be fine. Any news from Dan? Not that I have heard this morning. So because I don't have the latest news, I'd rather wait until the latest news are shared with me, Suzanne. But we're all saying a lot of prayers, and we're all very present in spirit and in love with both Kathy and Den and the rest of the Doran family. Oh my God, I join you live on the Spotlight next week. How exciting. I'm looking forward to that. Yay. Let's see. Nice comments about my little mini shawl. Thank you. Wasn't that a great? I am so happy. And the t-shirt is very comfortable. I didn't even look at the brand, but it's soft and smooth, and it's just comfy. Ba-da-ba-ba. Do 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 do. Thank you very much for that, Laura. I crave good memories, and you know, think about that analogy. How many people does it take to create a good memory? It's you have to engage. So it's kind of like going to see Hedwig. If you just sit in your chair expecting to be entertained, it may happen. But if you engage, oh my God, what a difference it makes. Um. Oh no. Oh no. That is so fucking dangerous. Excuse me for saying dangerous. Logan says, while we prefer to support our local small businesses, just putting it out there that Krispy Kreme is doing a Rosca themed donut this year. Just saying. Oh, that is dangerous. Thank you for sharing. I will find myself a Krispy Kreme donut sometime today. Is it a shawl? Well, it's a little shawl. It's just a small one. It's not like a big shawl. It's just big enough to tie it with a little brooch, which is what I did. Um, oh, thank you for that, Deb. I am loving it. I am loving it. But most importantly, go love the tacos. Oh my God, Tacos Revolucion. It's so wonderful. Oh shit! I forgot to whip out. Beth actually sent me a list of the people that haven't contacted her, and I have her email address. I will share her email address in the show notes. You know who you are. I will mention you tomorrow by name. Um, let's see what else we have. Sherry says, when I contacted Beth, she responded quickly. Beth is awesome. Beth is just awesome. I said Sherry, not Siri. Go away. Yes, go, go, go. Let's see. Wasn't it just a wonderful show? Jordon Carnegie is incredible. Yes, he is. This show will be there every Sunday until May. And of course, so good to see you and your beautiful friends. Yeah, it was a great show. And oh, by the way, Jordan has a YouTube trailer for the show, which I am going to share in the show notes today. It was absolutely amazing. Oh, that is shady, but it's a real issue. That is, well, some people it's challenging to let go of the phone. It's challenging to let go of the vaping machine. Um, it's it one needs to want to do it, I suppose. Uh, let's see. Hysterical chicken robot arm, but we had reserved seats and we're supposed to be let in first, but that was crazy. Well, that's all I'm going to say. What was the mob for? Seats? Yes, that's precisely what the mob was for. You'd think they were giving away free blowjobs inside or something. The people got so freaking crazy, it's not even funny. Uh, yes, mob mentality like at airport boarding gates. Abso-freaking-lutely. The same thing. What is the rush? We're all going to get inside of the same plane. We're all going to get from point A to point B. It was crazy. Oh my God, there was a little lady. Oh, no, Paco, just forget about the bad stuff. Hedwig was amazing. The ba-da-ba-ba. Da 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 da. Oh, okay. You two, Logan and Daniel, just get a room. I love you, Muffin. I know that you have a very intense, intimate relationship with your phone, but I still love you because you're my Muffin and you are awesome just the way you are. Let's see. Hi, Jordan. Fuck. So many people would. Oh, yes, the program. There was a program, and the program was like a professional program. It was so well crafted and so intelligently put together. It has all the information that you need. Just amazing. Just amazing. Um let's see what else. Jordan says this warms my heart, and yes, sound is such a tricky beast and it's being addressed. Sound is challenging. And I think it's important to talk about that because sometimes we go uh, to see live music and we expect these things to be uh, the best possible. And why wouldn't we? But it is also important to note that it is very, very challenging. And a show like this is a challenging show to microphone. So I'm glad that you guys are working on it. Let's see. Thanks for mentioning the importance of sound. As a 40-year veteran of production sound, it's nice to hear from someone who appreciates it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you very much for that. Rub it in, and I love it in the best way. It was Daniel, of course, who gifted us this wonderful podcast microphone made by Rode. It makes me sound so sexy. I love it. Oh my God, 1117. How did this happen? Let's see. You would benefit more by not using the F word. Children listening, and it's degrading to you. Thank you for your feedback, George. I don't filter my language. I don't think it is degrading to me. If you have young children listening, please use your own common sense and put them in a different place. The F word has been part of Coffee and Headlines from the very beginning, and nothing is going to change that. Just saying. Let's see what else. Da-da-da-da. I think we are done degrading to you. That's so funny. Just a friendly reminder, Coffee and Headlines is put together for your support, not for your approval. And that's all I'm going to say on that. For those of you that support, thank you very much for supporting. And have a fucking awesome day. And share everything that we do here. And share all the chingaderas that happen. That is also a lovely word that we use and we honor. And thank you again, Jordan, for moving me out of my comfort zone. It was amazing.